folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at games that I reviewed 1, 5, and 10 years ago. This is Look Back, and let's see how my reviews on these have changed. First of all, we'll start with 1 year ago, in which I reviewed Terrible Monster, which, I don't want to make the pun that the game was a terrible game, but it really wasn't a good game. It's like a little micro game with just not a lot of choices. A micro game needs to be zippy and fast and fun, and this one doesn't have that zip part to it. I also took a look at Princess and Goblin, which is a game in which a princess is running from a goblin or escaping from goblins on her own, kind of following paths as you lay down tiles. It just felt too random, really, for us to enjoy it that much. Gang Rush Breakout. This game looks amazing. Cars zooming down a bridge and shooting at each other. Well, first of all, it's the worst paper money on earth in it. And secondly, the game itself just isn't that exciting and interesting. You're moving around. There's a little bit more luck than I like. It's a really good idea. There's a lot of good things to it, but then there's a little bit of it. Also, it has the problem with it just being a little too slow as you're shooting at each other and doing different things. All right, next we have Princess Jing. This is a two-player game in which you have these mirrors and you're trying to look in your opponent's mirrors to figure out where their pieces are hidden. It didn't work as well as I would like it to. It's fine. It's an interesting game. It just wasn't as like, ooh, where is your princess? I felt like sometimes you could just guess and be pretty close to correct. I almost wish there was a little bit more deductive stuff to it. Fire of Ireland. This is based on a video game. Or not based on a video game, but based on the video game genre as you're going through and working together. And I like the concept of it. Very video gamey, though. The 8-bit graphics and stuff are in there. Windup War. This is a little card game where you're going to be playing cards at the same time, trying to... it's basically a simultaneous card thing, but the cards themselves have different themes, so I might have the soldiers and you have a different wind-up toy. So I really like the theming of it. The gameplay is good. It's just a little bit a simultaneous selection style game. One Night Ultimate Alien. I rolled my eyes when I first heard of this because we already had One Night Ultimate Werewolf and One Night Ultimate Vampire. This one is better than Vampire. It definitely adds a lot of chaotic craziness. If you don't like chaos, you won't like this game. But we found it to be silly, entertaining fun. Kukku! This is a trick-taking style game. It probably would have got a better rating had the components been better. The components are okay at best, and it's also very esoteric. It's very weird trying to figure out what numbers are available and what colors, and so you have to kind of, it's more thinky than not, but there was some pretty neat aspects to it. Ticket to Ride Germany. Now you notice I normally give Ticket to Rides a much higher score than this one. This one's okay. I think I would like it more if I felt like it was doing more, but this one, as you're collecting the different guys and scoring points for that, it's a very tight map, by the way. I would prefer the Pennsylvania stock market. I think it's a little better than this one, or a lot better, actually. And then we have Spynet. This Richard Garfield game, it's like a terror game as you're basically trying to complete missions. There's some interesting ideas here, some nice card play, the kind of game where you can sit and talk while you're playing it also. Then we have Exodus Fleet. Now you notice this one has gone up for me. As you get the resources, you're taking an action, everyone else takes the action, you get the resources, send your ships out. This one did not get a lot of talk last year, but I think it's really good to the point where I actually kept the game. It's in the Dice Tower library now. It is a lot of fun. Then we have Dungeons & Dragons Tomb of Annihilation. This is in the Dungeons & Dragons Castle Ravenloft series. This is one of the WizKids ones. This one, there's a jungle motif to it. You're going outside. There's a lot of really cool aspects to this one. I think it's neat. Dungeons & Dragons Tomb of Annihilation. And then we have Paper Tales. Paper Tales is a drafting game that I really enjoy it. As you notice, it keeps going up. I still have yet to play the expansion, but I heard it adds more. You draft cards. You're putting them in a 4x4 grid. They provide resources and or fight the people next to you. I love the artwork. I love the theme. I love the speed of the game. It just works really, really well. And then finally, Seventh Continent from a year ago. Seventh Continent, of course, is an amazing game. It is a storytelling game where you're going to go and you're going to land on this island and you move around and find things. It's a nice mix of time stories with exploration and has a bit of randomness to it. And at the same, well, a lot of randomness, a lot of things are going to happen. And at the same time, you are trying to solve a mystery. There's several mysteries in the box. It is just yummy. I love this game. It is so much fun. All right, so that's 1 year ago. 5 years ago, I took a look at New Amsterdam. Now, I usually like Jeffrey Ahler's style games, but this one, it just didn't do it for me. It just felt too constricted. You had to go and get furs and things like that and sell them. I just did not enjoy this one at all. This one I have a hard time putting a rating on. Dice Plus. This was a die that you would roll and use for different games on the iPad. It would register what number you rolled. That's a pretty cool concept, and I like it. I think it's a cooler concept and unique gimmick than it is because I haven't used it since I've reviewed it and played these games because it just isn't that. It's okay. I mean, it's fun to do, but I've never surrounded and wanted to do more of it. Alliances. This is a trick-taking game with a board, which is an interesting idea. Kind of this back and forth aspect war game. Yeah, it's not bad, but it's not anything to write home about. Deadwood Studios USA. This is about making movies and you're getting the right actors for these movies. This is a reprint of an older game, but I like it. It's entertaining and interesting, but there is a huge amount of luck involved in it. NFL Game Day. This game has the actual NFL teams, which you can take out and put in a better football game, which I may have done. But I do like some of the concepts of it. You know, you're picking a play, trying to get your opponents, but it's just not one of the best football games that's out there. Actually, there's not many good ones. So, let's see here. Global Mogul. This one dropped a bit. This is a good economic game from Mayfair Games. Excellent game, very deep, a lot of things to do in it, but the component quality is really chintzy. So I can't really recommend it for that reason. Then we have Council of Verona. This is a smaller style game trying to get the people onto the council that you want to be on there. There's some interesting aspects to this one. It's a smaller, almost micro game style, and I think some people will like it for that reason. Then we have Cullen Bond, or the Rolling Gang is what I call this game. This is or that's the English name of the game. This one, you're rolling a box around trying to get a marble through things. Lots of silly fun. This works well with kids and adults. Then we have Zoltan. Yeah, my review of Zoltan has gone up. Now, partially, I played with the expansion. Really like the expansion, like the special abilities and the different starting resources. And also, my opinion of Zoltan has just gone up. The more I'm playing it, the more I'm enjoying it. Zuluretto. Zuluretto has been around longer than 5 years, but 5 years ago, Sam and I took a look at this classic game about getting animals to your zoo. I like the theme. I like the way where you're drafting basically a truck full of animals and trying to fit them in your zoo. There's a gazillion expansions for this. Some of them are great, some of them are okay, but very fun. Relic Runners. This is a game. This one has dropped for me slightly. It certainly is beautiful about connecting things. Z really likes this one. And I think it's very good. It's a typical Days of Wonder big production, although it's slightly gone down for me just because when I think about it, I'm not like, no, I should play that right now. No, it's good though. It's just not great. And then Escape Quest. Escape Quest is a game in which, it's an expansion for Escape. This one adds special powers for your players. Also has these quests. When you do it, you have to figure something out. You might get something good out of it. I like this one a lot. It has 2 modules. I would use either or both of these modules when playing the game. All right, so that's the stuff from 5 years ago. Now we're going to go to 10 years ago, just 3 games. Ticket to Ride, the Dice expansion. Yeah, this one's bad, folks. You'll never hear anyone talking about this. This replaces the cards from Ticket to Ride with dice. You roll dice and connect the routes that way. Yeah, the game was not meant to be played that way. If you can't find this, no harm, no loss. Synapse. This is a game in which you are, it has this funky little device on it and you're trying to do things. It's okay, it's forgettable. 10 years ago, forgettable. Ultimate Werewolf. Ultimate Werewolf, a great game from Bezier Games. I really like Werewolf, and so Werewolf's been around longer than this one has been, but this kind of put everything into one box. And yes, Bezier Games has milked this dry with Extreme Ultimate Werewolf and the Ultimate Werewolf, and there's the white box. There's a ton of this out there. But if you find anything that says Ultimate Werewolf, it's probably the best way to play Werewolf there is. Those are the reviews I did 1, 5, and 10 years ago. I'll see you next time. I'm Tom Vasel, and this has been Look Back on the Dice Tower.